Hello, my name is Dr. Hugh Wegwerth. I'm a functional medicine doctor, and today what I want to talk to you about is, you guessed it, protein pump inhibitors, acid medication, GERD medication, heartburn medication. The information I'm about to show you is the leading edge cutting information on acid medication. This is information that for certainly that the pharmaceutical industry does not want you to know, and if your medical doctor knew this, that they should inform you about all the side effects to these medications. So what we're really going to be talking about here in the next 20 minutes or so is the dangerous side effects of these protein pump inhibitors for acid reflux. A lot of people just think, oh, it's just a purple pill, it's just Prilosec, right? No big deal. But when you actually dig into the research, in my opinion, this is one of the most devastating medications someone can be on long term. So as you see on your screen here, there's a variety of different heartburn medications: Prilosec, Zantac, Nexium, Preva acid, omeprazole. Some are over the counter, some are prescription. So let's get into the meat of this, and by the end of the workshop, my goal is that you fully understand what you're putting in your body every single day, because at the end of the day, when you're on this medication, when you get off this medication, you get off this medication when you decide to get off this medication and you handle your problem. The reason why you're actually on this medication is because there's an underlying cause. The cause has never been discovered. Once you figure the cause of your heartburn, you're going to get better. I've literally helped thousands and thousands of people get off heartburn medication and heal and seal their digestive system. So how big of an industry are we talking here? So the fourth most prescribed medication in this country right now is Nexium at 15.2 million prescriptions written. It's in the top 10. It's the top 4. Now let's come down here. In 2014, there was over 170 million prescriptions written for acid blockers, PPIs, protein pump inhibitors, PPIs. And then down here, just Nexium. Nexium alone in 2012 grossed $6 billion out of the $9.5 billion industry. So again, the information I'm going to share with you here is information that the pharmaceutical company does not want you to know. And in fact, I don't even think your medical doctor knows about this stuff, because if they did, they should warn you on the side effects of taking this medication. So this next video here, I'm going to show you what is actually happening in your body when you take this medication, and you're going to see how the medication attaches to the cells in your stomach that produce acid, and it literally shuts off the acid production in your stomach. Now, at the end of the day, we actually need that acid we actually need that acid. That acid is very vital to your health and your vitality. So the video is just going to show you what's happening when you take this medication, how it shuts off acid production in your body.
There are billions of pumps in the stomach lining, each controlled by 3 main signals which produce this acid.
So you can see right here, this is the acid cell right in your stomach. Now this is in your stomach, and now it's producing a bunch of acid in your stomach.
Proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, are the newest class of heartburn medications that actually block many of the active pumps from producing.
So you see right here how the medication gets right on the cell. I mean, this medication works very, very efficiently. It gets right in the cell, right where the cell starts to produce the acid. There's the cells in your stomach called parietal cells, and the one job that they have is to digest is to produce acid. Now, God designed us to have these parietal cells, these acid-producing cells in our body for a particular reason. And this medication does a very, very good job of almost completely shutting down your acid production in your stomach, and consequently, your heartburn may diminish, but you get tons and tons of side effects. So let's look at the video. You can see these little pumps in there. The acid is being drastically shut down.
Acid. Omeprazole, an over-the-counter PPI, treats heartburn for up to 24 hours with 1 daily pill, and is made for people who suffer from frequent heartburn that occurs 2 or more days per week.
Okay. These are kind of some funny little cartoons I got right here. I like this. Do you have the list of side effects this drug causes? All right, so you want to know the side effects. The second one here is, this is good advice, never take a pill that has more side effects than your symptoms. Okay, heartburn is one symptom that your body is malfunctioning and not working right, but all the side effects that come with heartburn medications are ridiculous. Okay, so here's just a general statement. You can see this is the research, June 8th, 2016. I see where I pulled it from is WebMD, so this is not Dr. Hugh's opinion. Nothing that I'm going to state here in this webinar is Dr. Hugh's opinion. This is concrete fact. So acid medications host a scary they host a lot of different scary health problems, including high risk for dementia, memory problems, kidney disease, heart attacks. Stomach acid is essential for absorption of many nutrients. Not many nutrients, all nutrients need acid. So if you don't have enough acid in your stomach, you're literally not going to be absorbing the nutrients from your food. You're literally going to be malnourished. Like, you can be overweight, you can be obese, but yet be malnourished because you do not have enough acid in your stomach to actually digest food. That's what the acid does. It tears down the food. And what do these acid medications do is they basically eliminate and shut down the acid production in your body. So this is clinical research. So the clinical research shows that if you take this acid medications, you will have B12 problems. Now, if you know anything about B12, you need that for energy levels, but more importantly, a lot of people don't realize this, you need this for good, healthy DNA in your body. I said that, so DNA. B12 helps your DNA form good, healthy DNA. So, for example, if I were to take a copy of a piece of paper now, the 1,000th copy, it's not going to be very crisp. This is what happens if you don't have enough B12 in your body. Your DNA doesn't produce very good, healthy DNA, and your body can't read it. And the DNA tells your cells what it needs to produce. So if that DNA is, let's say, just a hair cell, it's going to produce hair. If that DNA is for a cell that produces energy, you're not going to get good energy production. If that DNA is for some kind of cells in your small intestine, you're going to have poor small intestinal system. Maybe you're going to have irritable bowel, Crohn's disease, leaky gut. It's also been shown to affect vitamin C absorption, calcium. How much osteoporosis do we have in here? Iron. You need iron for energy levels. Magnesium. And down here, what happens? This right here. You need the stomach acid because it also kills bugs, right? So your small intestine is full of bugs. And most of those bugs are really good guys. You actually need bacteria in your small intestine. But what happens is when you eliminate and shut off your acid production, that allows these bad bugs to grow. And they grow aggressively. And then you have a thing called SIBO, which is called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. SIBO, S-I-B-O. Now, you can actually tell if you have SIBO or not. When you eat, you get bloating. When you eat, you get gas. When you eat, you have problems between constipation and diarrhea. If you're having any of these problems, it's telling you that your digestive system is not well. And the first thing that you want to start off is to make sure that you have enough acid production, because the acid is what breaks down the nutrients and helps you absorb food in your body. Now, this is just the statistics. I'm not really much of a slide reader reading verbatim, but I wanted to go over the research so you actually know what's happening. So again, this is from WebMD. So these PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, can cause chronic diarrhea, pneumonia, low magnesium levels. Magnesium, check this out. Magnesium is needed for over 400 enzymatic reactions in your body. Okay, 400. So if you don't have enough magnesium, then 400 enzymes in your body that need magnesium to work are not going to work. It can cause muscle spasms, heart palpitations, convulsions, fractures in your hip, wrist, and spine. This is from taking proton pump inhibitors. Now this right here, this next one is well, that's all shocking in my opinion. Okay, fracture risks are generally highest for people who've taken high doses of the drugs for more than what? 1 year. Now, when patients come to me, they're just not on this medication for 2 weeks. Literally, patients are on this medication for years and years and decades. So we're talking anything over 1 year is going to cause you to have a more increased risk of osteoporosis and bone fractures. Why? Because you need the acid to absorb calcium in your body. Here's another one. A recent study of PPI's proton pump inhibitors to chronic kidney disease. So it's linked. Proton pump inhibitors are linked to chronic kidney disease. This is a huge study. This study, which included more than 250,000 people, found taking PPI's proton pump inhibitor hiked a person's risk of kidney disease by how much? Not a little, a lot, by 50%. Also, a study in 2005 linked PPIs to greater risk of what? Heart attacks. So really, you have to look down at what's causing your heartburn problem. Why do you have that? The truth of the matter is you can get better. You can reverse and get rid of acid reflux and GERD. I've literally done it in thousands and thousands of patients. Here's another statistic. This comes back to the SIBO. A 2013 study, so these are really recent studies, found a significant increase of percentage of individuals with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, which I refer to this. Basically, at the end of the day, you need the acid in your stomach to kill bugs. If you don't have enough acid in your stomach to kill bugs, your bugs are going to start to overgrow. In your small intestine, which is basically 32 feet long, it's all full of bacteria. You need the bacteria to digest food, but you don't want the bacteria to go crazy and overgrow. It's like weeds in your yard, crabgrass, like dandelions going crazy in your yard. Now here, these are some of the symptoms if you have SIBO. Nausea, bloating, vomiting, diarrhea. Guess what? Malnutrition. You can't actually absorb your nutrients. Joint pain, fatigue, rashes, depression. All this stuff is associated with SIBO. So we really need to start to handle your stomach. And here, this is just a little character that shows all these bad guys growing in your small intestine. Okay, just another statistics. Here's where I got these research articles right down here. So PPIs increase the risk of cardiovascular events. Well, let's go in and see that. So the risk of a heart attack increases by what? 25% for people taking PPIs before the age of 55. This study was published in 2015, very recently. PPIs also reduce the production of nitric oxide. Well, what is nitric oxide? Nitric oxide is a natural substance in your body that you produce to dilate your arteries. All your arteries in your body. So if you don't have enough nitric oxide, your arteries are very tight, which is going to limit your blood flow to your heart. So maybe you're on, maybe you have acid medications and you're put on Nexium or you're put on Prilosec. And now all of a sudden you have blood pressure problem because nitric oxide dilates your arteries. What's blood pressure? Blood pressure is when your arteries are very tight and they can't relax. So this study was published in May of 2016. Again, very recent study. Down here, they showed that over the course of 5 years, we're talking, and most patients that come to me, I'd say, are on this medication for anywhere from 5 to 20 years. Those in the PPI group, the proton pump inhibitors, were 28% more likely to develop chronic kidney disease and 96% more likely to develop end-stage renal disease. Now, on top of that, now let's say you're diabetic. Diabetics have a huge increase for kidney failure and kidney problems. So you can just see how your case just continues to spiral out and get worse and worse and worse. At the end of the day, you can get better. Let's show you the path. Let's give you the information. Let's get your body healing and functioning much better so you don't have GERD, so you don't have digestive problems, so you don't have SIBO. And you know what? That can actually be done. Cognitive impairment, memory. One of the worst diseases I think anyone could possibly have is Alzheimer's disease, when your brain starts to go. You know, that's like a 10, 15, 20-year process. Guess what, folks? Proton pump inhibitors, Nexium, affects your cognitive ability. Research. Proton pump inhibitors also impair cognitive function. When? 2006 study found that regular PPI users had a what? 44% increase in dementia compared with those not using the drug. A different study published in 2015 that assess cognitive function. So they give these people different tests to see how well their brain is functioning versus controls that were not taking any medication. So the people that were taking the medication had impaired visual memory, attention problems. They couldn't have executive function. I mean, they couldn't do things like maybe they couldn't like write their checks very easily or remember to do that. And working on planning things. Those were all impaired abilities to do that. All linked to proton pump inhibitors, Nexium, omeprazole, and down here, this is where I got these statistics. So again, this is not Dr. Hugh's opinion. This is research fact. Now, this is actually a real shocking study that came out, and you can see I got this on WebMD. And I think out of all the studies I've went over, in my opinion, this is the most shocking. So what they've actually found out, I'm just going to read this. Now researchers working at the Stanford University of Houston Methodist Hospital in Texas. So Stanford University, this isn't a small college, this is a huge university. Think they may have found an important piece of the puzzle. Now this is key. The drugs don't just turn off acid pumps in the stomach. Instead, the researchers say that PPIs also block the production of acid in every cell of your body, an effect that hampers your body's ability to rid itself of damaged proteins. The garbage builds up as we age. So here's what they found out. They found out, and here, let me hear. I think we now have a smoking gun. MD, PhD, cardiovascular research at Houston Methodist Church. This guy's smart. He's got an MD and a PhD. What they found out is in your cells. Your cells actually, every cell in your body, you literally have 100 trillion cells. Every cell in your body needs acid. And what does acid do? It actually gets rid of the debris. When your cells actually go to the bathroom, they poop and pee, okay? They poop and pee inside the cell. And what does the acid do? The acid gets in there and it dissolves their poop and it dissolves their pee. So without the acid in your cells literally start to age quicker because all the toxins that build up in your cell, they can't actually break down and get outside of your cell. So that's a huge study. This goes on to the study again. So in studies on humans, proton pump inhibitors have been shown to shut off acid pumps in tiny cell parts called lysosomes. So let me just go over and just give you a visual. I like visual stuff. So where is the lysosome? So this is your cell right here. Okay, this is your cell. And then right here, these things right here are your lysosomes. These things right here need acid. So what do? Here's a food particle, let's just say. This is a lysosome. You see how it comes in here, it attaches that food particle, and it breaks it up. Now let's say we're in your cell here, and your cell goes poop and pee. The lysosome literally will attach to the poop and pee and dissolve it and get rid of it, but it needs acid. So when you take this heartburn medication, it doesn't only decrease the acid in your stomach, it decreases the acid in every single cell of your body, 100 trillion cells. So you cannot detoxify the way you ought to, right? So if you can't detoxify, toxins build up, poop and pee builds up in the cell. Your cell then causes, that will then cause inflammation in your body. Systemic just means all over, systemic global inflammation in your body. And at the end of the day, your problem's going to get worse, and your symptoms are going to get worse. And one medication always leads to what? Another medication. So let's go over this. A lysosome is like a tiny bag of acid in the cell. Cook explains. Certain enzymes in the lysosome only work under what? Acidic conditions. And again, if you take this medication, it just doesn't shut off acid in your stomach. It shuts off acid in every cell in your entire body. Those enzymes break down proteins that have become damaged. It's kind of like a little garbage disposal that requires acid to work. Okay, so if you have a garbage disposal at your house and it's not working, things are going to build up. When the lysosomes don't work properly in the cells, waste builds up and the cell ages more quickly. Expert says Cook's research could explain why PPIs might lead to damage in many different organs at the same time. So again, it's damaging all your organs in your entire body. In my mind, we've got the biological mechanism by which the PPIs are harmful to patients, says Jonathan Lipham, MD, chief of the Division of GI and General Surgery at the University of Southern California's Keck School of Medicine in Los Angeles. So, I mean, there you have it, folks. These heartburn medications are bad news. And at the end of the day, you can get better and you can get well. If you're out there suffering with heartburn, GERD medications, and your health continues to get spiraling down and down and down, the good news is that you can actually get better through functional medicine. So this webinar was not meant to give you an in-depth solution to handling GERD medication or handling heartburn medication or GERD, but I wanted to give you some things that I use with patients day in and day out to help them alleviate and get to the cause of the problem. So go gluten-free. If you're not gluten-free, go gluten-free. Research things on gluten-free. I have a whole video on gluten. One thing I want to say about going gluten-free, you don't want to substitute gluten-free products. You don't want to substitute going gluten-free for gluten-free products. All right, and I have a video on that. So if you're interested in looking at that video, you can email me. Take probiotics, take magnesium, take vitamin D, take digestive enzymes, take berberine, take marshmallow root, take slippery elm. So I don't give all these to my patients at once. I problem solve. I actually go in there and I have a conversation with you and figure out exactly what's going on with your problem and how best we can help. So I want to thank you for your time. I hope you found value in this webinar, and just research, and at the end of the day, you can get better, and you don't have to be shackled to medications and taking medications forever. God built our body to function and heal without medication. So if you're on medications, something's interfering with your body's ability to heal and function, and you can get well. Take care.